Howdy from Peoria, Illinois. Two of our area softball teams are stepping into the state spotlight here at Louisville Slugger Sports Complex. It's Dakota and North Boone, both of them just one win away from heading to their respective state title games. Stay tuned tonight at 10 p.m. in our sports show, where I'll have all the highlights in reaction from this massive day of softball.
The North Boone Vikings are back in the state semifinals, and it's a rematch with major stakes. After falling to Carterville on a walk-off in last year's 2A state title game, the Vikings are hungry for payback. With a new-look squad and the same playoff grit, North Boone has powered its way back to Peoria, winning another tight one in the Super Sectionals to get there. Meanwhile, in 1A, Dakota has been on a tear. After cruising through the bracket behind dominant pitching and timely hitting, the Indians are in the state semifinals for the first time in over 2 decades. They'll face a battle-tested Leroy team with 34 wins and plenty of postseason firepower. But Dakota's pitching has been nearly untouchable. 2 programs, 2 dream runs, 1 huge day in Peoria.
Again, stay tuned tonight at 10 p.m. where we will have all the highlights of both of these games. Reporting in Peoria, I'm Josh Reisick, WIFR Sports.